Amber Kivett, how are we doing today? We are streaming live from Lifepro's Facebook channel as well as Instagram and YouTube. So depending on where you are tuning in from right now, let me know where you're coming from, where you're located. I'm always interested in knowing where everybody's from. We've got a new product today, and actually this is kind of a huge update to one of my absolute favorite products of Lifepro. So we're going to release that information here shortly as I'm waiting for so many of you to jump in here live. So if you can hear me or if you can see me, give me a thumbs up and let me know where you're chiming in from and which social media channel, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Super excited. It is like getting to be, well, actually today's just the middle of the week, isn't it, huh? Okay, so I have to tell you guys. So I had my 43rd birthday yesterday, and I feel like I'm in my 20s all over again. So for those of you who are trying to figure out a way to get younger, I'm telling you, the Lifepro products have made me feel younger and younger since I've started using them a few years ago. And yesterday was kind of the first day I have unplugged in a long time. So if you wished me a happy birthday through Lifepro or sent me messages, I did get them. I didn't read all of the 500 plus messages that I got. But I wanted to say thank you to everybody who sent me messages, because you guys are all like, those of you who have been watching me for so long now that check in, you're kind of like family right now. So I wanted to say thank you to all of you. 43 is feeling pretty amazing, and it's so funny. I get people that say, oh my gosh, you're 43, you look like you're in your 30s. But I feel like I'm in my 20s because, of course, as we get older, we start to feel a little bit more worn down because of how our bodies adjust to stress. And I feel like the older we get, the more stressful our lives get. So anyhow, thank you all so much. I'm starting to see a bunch of you flooding in here. So super happy to see all of you. Michelle, Julie, I see Linda and Natalie, Judy White, Deb, Lewis, Jackson, seeing all of you guys. So Troy and Laura. So yes, so excited to see all of you guys today. We're releasing yet another product because, again, Joel is on the upswing of always being innovative and always coming up with some of the best creations for us to not feel like we are aging. So I'm going to call this my birthday episode. I don't know that they really are thinking about that in the backdrop, but I'm going to call it the birthday episode because it is about feeling younger without having to worry about the age behind the birthday. So I celebrate out for several days at a time. So forgive me if I keep posting pictures of what I'm doing for my birthday, because I think the older we get, the more we should celebrate, because we are just, we're still here, right? So anyhow, I'm seeing a lot of you guys coming in from now YouTube. So happy that you're joining us tonight. I always get a little bit of a different crowd from our middle of the day crowd at noon versus our evening crowd. So super excited. Hi, Miriam, I see you. And Kurt Crazy, love it. And KDJ from YouTube, loving the birthday message. So thank you. Anyhow, we are going to be giving away 2 of these products. So as you guys are all chiming in, as I say birthday, I want you to tell me how you want to feel younger. For me, I want to feel younger in that I'm more free to move. I don't feel as tight. I don't feel like I'm waddling around and stiff. I don't want to feel pain, and I don't want to feel emotionally depressed, because as we get older, sometimes we tend to like, we don't have the energy. So when I say birthday, I want any of you, all of you, those of you who are participating, I want you to tell me, what do you want to feel on your birthday? How do you want to feel younger? What is going to happen to you? What do you have to feel within you? And mentally and physically, what do you have to feel in order to feel like you are younger? So as you're like tapping in all of that information, I want to, our crew backstage, I want to give a huge shout out to our gals backstage that are keeping track of all this. But I was talking to, I believe it's Lauren and CJ. Those ladies are going to be keeping track of who's chiming in and giving me information about how you want to feel younger on your next birthday. Whatever whatever that makes you feel. Yeah, so, and then I had a major milestone this last week. And so we're working on some stuff. I'm working on some stuff with Lifepro to help all of you, because I hit the 50-pound loss, finally hit the 50-pound loss this last week. And what's crazy, you guys, is I was trying, but I wasn't eating very good. I mean, it's the birthday week, right? So I'm eating cake and I'm drinking stuff I probably shouldn't be drinking. Yes, I drink Diet Coke, and Diet Coke is horrific for you because of the aspartame, and we just won't even travel down that road. But I ate like crap and drank bad things like crap. and so when I went to step on the scale to see how much further I had to really push in order to get the spring break weight off, those of you that saw a picture that I had posted like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I weighed in at like 159 after doing some crazier fun things on spring break and not doing a whole lot of physical activity other than unplugging and swimming and floating and doing fun things with my family. But I realized, okay, I've got to figure out how I'm going to get this spring break weight off. So my goal was just to get back to where I started at before I left on spring break. And surely enough, the week of my birthday, I weighed in at 150 on the dot. And I posted a picture of that a few days ago, comparing before and after scales, just to prove that my date and of course my toes were different colors of paint. So you could tell it was the same feet on the scale. So I wasn't interchanging my feet and my toes. But what was really cool was I wasn't really trying. I was just, honestly, I got on my Rumble-X like 3-4 times a day for 10 minutes at a time and just stood and vibrated on P2 level. Everybody's asking me what level, and it was on the P2. And so I hit 150 pounds on the dot, and it was exciting because that's the lowest I have weighed in since 2007. So if I can get to 148, that will be the lowest that I have weighed in since 2004. So anyhow, yeah, so I'm really excited, but everybody's asking me, okay, what are you eating? What are you doing? Tell me exactly how you're doing this. And then I talked with Lifepro earlier last week about putting together a longer term, or like we did the 21-day challenge before back in February, to give you all some ideas of how you can use your different platforms at home and how to find different exercises that work for you so that you can feel younger on your next birthday. And so, a lot of people wanted to know how we could do weight loss. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, weight loss is such a tricky thing because it has everything to do with hormone balance. And that is one thing that is affected with stress. And so as we age and as we become more stressed and as we take on more responsibility, and of course, we don't have control over the other external things that can cause stress, like a pandemic, like losing a job, just different things. But the secret to weight loss is making sure that you are amping up your parasympathetic nervous system and that you are getting rid of the nasty toxins that have been hibernating in your system for decades. And there's so many different things that you have to be in considering as to why you might not be losing weight. But for me, I stood on the platform and just stood. I just vibrated and just let it like shake me up and shake the junk in the trunk. And then it was gone. It was really cool. I feel lighter. I feel less tension. I feel less stress, even though I'm like the busiest I've ever been in my life. The busiest I've ever been in my entire career is right now. And it's been great. I feel like I could go conquer the world right now with less energy required, and I don't have the tension, and I'm able to move. I went to my daughter's fast pitch practice yesterday. I have not tried to swing a bat in 25 years, and I actually hit a fastball, like trying to teach these 10-year-olds how to hit. It was like the coolest thing ever. Oh my gosh, I hit the ball with a college pitcher pitching to me. And you guys, I don't teach hitting. I mean, so again, those are just one of those things that I feel like I'm in my 20s all over again. And it was just my birthday yesterday. So with that being said, I'm going to be working with Lifepro in the future, in the near future, and trying to come up with a program for all of you to follow in which you can work on short-term and long-term weight loss. Everybody wants to know exactly the programs that I did, and I'm going to give you a little secret. Everything that I have done is all documented on Facebook. Every little thing that I've done on my platform through Lifepro, and of course, you all know that I like to wear my BFR bands. And so, if you go back and you watch watch my workouts from a year ago, you can see the whole transformation unfold right before your eyes. And you can follow that on YouTube through Lifepro's channel as well. But anyhow, we are working on putting together some programs for all of you guys that are interested in whether it is short-term weight loss, maybe you just need to get 5 pounds off. And those of you who are trying to get off the 50 pounds or the 30 pounds or 15 pounds, things that you need to think about and what you need to be thinking about doing with your platform, because I'm telling you, the platform is my secret sauce. It's not an eating plan. Although eating is important, I eat like crap. I'm just gonna be up front and straight up. I had ice cream cake last night for my birthday, and I ate stromboli today for lunch, and I drank a Diet Coke yesterday, and I still weighed in at 151 this morning. It was like, yes. But I'm going to tell you, I got a hormone pellet done last week. So my body does not produce hormones like it's supposed to. And so because of that, I had to start supplementing with bioidentical hormone replacement. That's a whole other conversation. But make sure, if you guys are struggling, because some of you have reached out to me and you're frustrated, make sure that you're checking your hormones if you have not lost weight and you have tried in doing everything with your platform. Okay, so I am seeing so many awesome people chiming in, and some of you are regulars I see all the time. God bless you and thank you for being here tonight. I know there are so many other things you might want to be doing, but you're super excited to see what's being launched. So again, if I say birthday, you respond with what you need to happen to you in order to feel younger on your next birthday, because I'm 43 and I feel like I'm in my 20s, and it's awesome. So I think some of us forget to learn how to play and have fun and find how to be a kid again. That's another secret sauce for me. It's just having fun and not being too serious all the time, because we're serious about everything all the time, I think. And so we have to find a way to play and have fun however it makes you happy. And then that is different for everybody. So I'm going to show you one of our newest products. And I want to share with you, I am yes, you get a free gift from this session as long as you tell me how you are going to feel younger on your next birthday. All right. So what I want to share with you, I started with Lifepro using their products. I actually was a customer using their products. I want to say it was almost 3 years ago. And now I'm to the point where I have used a lot of different, I've used all of our products and more products that we haven't even launched yet, because I test them all the time. The first product that I ever bought was the Turbo and the Hover. I actually bought them both at the same time to see which one I liked more, and I kept both. So I'm going to just say that because I bought them at the same time. And so the platform that I bought were fantastic. And so I work in sports medicine business. And so I work with a lot of people who are in pain. And so the question came up that I had clients who had a lot of sciatica and back pain. And I already knew that the vibration platforms could help tremendously with the back pain. And I thought they would help a lot with sciatica, and they do. And so when I contacted Joel and I said, hey, Joel, do you know if your platforms help with sciatica? Because I've got several seniors and several athletes that are coming in who have back pain, but they more have sciatica than anything. And he said, oh, you need to try the Surger, our vibrating foam roller. And I had already tested a vibrating foam roller a few years back. And but the problem with the vibrating foam roller from when they first came out several years ago, they were like in the ballpark of $300. They were super expensive, and I just couldn't justify that. And now I've been teaching foam rolling for, since 2002. I will tell you, I was in a horrific car accident in 2005. That's why my weight has always been a problem. And when I got into that car accident, I had to learn to walk again. And it took me 2 years to learn to walk again. I suffered from 8 spinal injuries, and I still suffer from some mild fibromyalgia, but I have had to deal with fibromyalgia my whole adult life. And so when I say that I truly feel like I'm in my 20s on my 43rd birthday, I was 27 when I got into that accident. And I went from weighing 148 pounds all the way up to 200 pounds in a matter of 6 months because of medication and because of not being able to move and having to learn to walk again and just having, like I said, it was 8 spinal injuries. So I have been in the foam rolling business for a very, very long time. In fact, we with Lifepro did a fantastic magazine article with Natural Awakening magazine. And we did our magazine article was on foam rolling. So I was featured in that article as to why foam rolling is important and how it can help with sciatica. So what I want to share with you is we now have an updated, more powerful, more feature-packed foam roller than what we once had with the Surger. And so the Surger was my second product that I had purchased from Joel. And I can't keep those things in stock because I have a lot of gymnasts, a lot of athletes, and then of course I give them to a lot of my aging athletes, that 60 plus age group. And they're eating it up. And I tell you, with a combination of the Surger and with the whole body vibration platform, there really isn't much within sciatica or the spine or with plantar fasciitis that you can't fix. So when a doctor says that you can't get fixed with other remedies other than medicine and with surgery, I beg to differ because I found the way on my own. But anyhow, what I want to share with you today is our new Surger. And so this is the original Surger, okay? And again, this Surger here, I got, it was about 3 years ago. So it's been through a lot, and I've gone through a lot of these. So this is the original Surger. The button down there on the bottom and the on-off switch here on this end. So we click that on. You can see it's loaded with battery life. And then we have the timer. And again, this is the original. This is not the new one. This is the original, okay? And you can't hear it because it's so quiet, right? But it's got 4 levels of intensity and it's got timers on it. So I wanted to share that with you because we now have the Surger Pro. That is the new item for today. So those of you who are wanting to feel younger on your birthday, what are you going to do? Well, I want to show you this. What makes this special, okay? It has a heating pad that comes with it, okay? But shut the front door. That's not it. It also has a Bluetooth remote. Have you ever seen a foam roller with a remote control that you can wear as a ring on your finger? All right, how cool is this? Because you don't have to reach around in order to change the intensity. All right, so this is the new Lifepro Surger foam roller, okay? And so on the bottom, yes, you totally have to, Pat, you totally have to upgrade to the Surger Pro because you can never have too many of these. Starting today, we're offering the pre-sale until it's going to be launching on Friday. But you can, they're opening, if I remember this right, they're opening for a preview sale this evening from 6 to 9, and it's going to be $95.99. It's normally $120, $119.99. Say that like 5 times in a row, right? So anyhow, tonight, $95.99. And they officially go on sale on Friday this week in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. And so for the next 2 weeks, you can get it on super special at 20% off at the $95.99 rate, okay? So this one's got 5 different speeds, and it has a heat source. So I'm gonna show you this. And so it has this little USB cable, and you can see it has a little USB input there. You're gonna plug that into the USB port. You're gonna flip it over and push the on button, okay? Now, the on button, as you can see, that's your middle button, okay? And then we have all of these rings around the edge. And right now, it has four lives of battery. So basically when you charge it the first time, it takes about 3 hours to charge 100%. And each one of these lights represents about 20% of battery, okay? And so what's really cool is it takes about 20 to 30 seconds, that's it. It only takes 20 to 30 seconds to heat up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit, which is really comfy, okay? And so you can foam roll. I know, Judy White, never seen one of these. Me neither. I hadn't seen one either until he sent it to me. And I'm like, Joel, you hit the jackpot on this one, buddy. So if you are super sensitive, like I am with Vibro, then it has this nice cushy neoprene sleeve that is heat activated when you plug it into the end, okay? And so you can see that everything is on. And so my remote, okay, I just activated the first level. I know, Pat, isn't that cool? It shut the front door. I love it, girl. And so remember, how do you want to feel younger on your birthday, okay? Because this right here, you're getting heat, you're getting vibration, 5 levels of speed intensity, okay? And you don't have to reach around with that mobility that you're lacking in order to turn on the device to even more. So you just use the button and we just went up and we went up and we went up and now we're all the way up. And we click it again and it drops back down to single. And at the same time, I know you all want to reach your hands through the screen and you can feel how warm this is. 122 degrees in about a minute. Okay, how cool is that, right? So anyhow, if we are on low speed, which is we are on now, you can get about 2 hours, I'm sorry, you can get 4 hours, 4 hours of working time. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna light it up again. Light it up one more time. We still got 1 level left. But if we go on these higher speeds, at level 4 and 5, then you only get 2 hours of working time. But who can use a foam roller for 2 hours, right? Who's gonna do that? I might get on it for, 30 minutes at the absolute most. And so what I want you to remember, you can do too much foam rolling, okay? So we wanna make sure that we're limiting it to about 15 to 20 minutes per session. And you can do multiple sessions a day, but we don't wanna do too much because too much foam rolling on our connective tissue can be really inflammatory. But when we have the vibration and we have the foam rolling, it makes for a great combination. So this is the Surger Pro. Wait for it. And this is the Surger Original. They're exactly the same size, okay? Exactly the same size. The difference is Joel went over and beyond, and now we have Bluetooth remote on our finger, little finger. And then we've got the 122 degrees of heat pad that we can relax on at the same time that we're rolling. All right. Now, what I want to point out to you, here on the end where it plugs into the USB port, there's little vents right there, okay? And those vent ports is how this thing breathes, especially with generating the heat. So we got to make sure as we are rolling that we are not blocking these little vent ports, okay? And then again on this end, this is our charge port for what plugs into the wall in order to charge. So that being said, I know you see the USB port down here. You don't ever want to take this USB port and plug it into something else to charge this battery because it's not the same thing. We have the battery that operates the heat core down on one end and the battery that operates the lithium ion battery charger on the other end. So if you don't need the heat, okay, I'm gonna turn this bad boy off for a second. We're gonna peel this off. So this is a removable sleeve. So if you don't want to use the sleeve, you don't have to. And some of you are wondering, well, why would we have that cord hanging out? If you take the cord and you can tuck it into this little storage pocket on the front, then you no longer have a cord, okay? And so this is what makes this thing so cool. Look at those diamonds, okay? Look at those grooves, all right? So you can see how deep those grooves are. And so those of you who have seen other foam rollers that have texturing, this is the grooves from the original. These are the grooves of the present. much deeper grooves, which means you're going to get a much more intense rolling experience when we're trying to really work out those adhesions in your fascia. And those of you who don't know what fascia is or don't understand fascia, Joel and I did a joint podcast with Live Healthy Today with Lisa Davis. And we featured the whole body vibration platform and, of course, the Surger foam roller and now the Surger Pro. And so if you have not heard that podcast yet, you've got to listen to it. I'm really proud of how everything turned out with that because I explain in great detail why the Surger Pro foam roller is so powerful for eliminating and minimizing pain and increasing your ability to move and the ability to feel younger on your next birthday. So check that out. I'll have the girls post a link here to it here in a little bit. And if for some reason that you don't have the chance to see the link, I will post it on the Lifepro page here after we get done this evening, because it's a phenomenal podcast, and you're going to learn a lot of information about how our platforms work and to making you feel younger, as well as how our Surger Pro works into making you feel younger on your birthday. So Jan, the question you have, can it help me with my knee pain? Absolutely. Because anytime we have an injury or anytime we carry more tension in our connective tissues, especially our IT band, our body is not as comfortable in movement. And so it starts to clamp down and it makes it a lot harder to move. And the knee joint is what attaches our foot ankle to our hip joint. Our hips are supposed to be super mobile, and our foot ankle joint is supposed to be grounding and able to make us to move. And our knee is not supposed to be mobile. It's a hinge joint. So it's just supposed to open and close. So we don't want the knee to be too mobile, but the muscles and the tissue that connect our hip to our foot through the knee, if our hip muscles are really tight, it will cause knee pain. So the question is, why do you have knee pain? And if you have a lot of muscle tension in your hips or in your calves and perineal muscles, then you're going to have knee pain as well. Those of you who have fibromyalgia, you can go much softer on this. And I will tell you, if you have fibromyalgia like I do, it is really painful to just do regular foam rolling. So if you can use vibration with foam rolling, vibration stimulates and excites your fascia and your connective tissue, which then lowers your pain levels, which then allows you to roll out the mush so that you can move better. So it's a combination of, that's how it works with the vibration platform, but it's also how it works with the Surger Pro foam roller. If you have plantar fasciitis, this is a big one. If you have plantar fasciitis, you need this, like today, all right? And the reason being is because most people who have plantar fasciitis, I treat it every single day. I've treated 2 cases of it today already. When you have plantar fasciitis, most people are treating the pain in their feet because they have pain in the arch of their foot, or they feel like they're walking on pebbles, or like they feel like they have a bruised heel bone. More often than not, the calf muscles are really tight, which increases tension on the Achilles tendon, which attaches to the bottom of the calcaneus, which then turns into the plantar fascia. The plantar fascia's job is to springboard you, the energy from the ground, and propel you forward in locomotion. So if you have pain on the bottom of your feet from tight fascia, you don't want to stretch out your fascia on the bottom of your foot, because it's what gives you the ability to move forward with shock absorption. You want to work on activating all the intrinsic muscles in the bottom of your feet using marbles and foam squares and things like that, like picking things up with your toes. And you want to use the Surger Pro on your calf muscles and loosen up your calf muscles so that you're not creating even more tension on the bottom of your foot and through the Achilles tendon. So you can eliminate plantar fasciitis using the Surger Pro, just using it on your calf. So do it every day with clients. So that being said, I'm going to show you some demonstrations on how you can use your Surger Pro to make you feel younger on your next birthday. Like I feel younger on my birthday yesterday. It's awesome. Okay, Another little insight about this. If you aren't using it for 10 minutes at a time, it automatically shuts itself off so that you don't drain the battery. So I'm going to, I tell you what, I'm going to start with this without the sleeve on, and then I'll put the sleeve back on it here in just a second. But yes, so we've got the Bluetooth finger remote. We've got a heat feature that heats up in 20 to 30 seconds at 122 degrees. And we've got 5 levels of speed intensity ranging from 1500 RPM all the way up to 4860 RPM. So it has a huge span. If you have a foam roller at home and you like the intensity, you have no idea how incredible a vibrating foam roller feels. It is, I can't even begin to explain how much better it feels than a traditional foam roller. The only challenge is you only get this much foam roller to work with. So if you're used to using one of the tall 3-foot foam rollers, you're going to have to work out this one with what you can with balance. So let's go ahead and show you how to do all this. So again, I've got my mat here situated. Oh, one other thing, it comes with this really cool carry bag that's got like a handle on it so you can carry it wherever you want to go. And if you had a 3-foot foam roller, you wouldn't be able to pack it in your luggage if you had to travel. This sucker you can pack or you can carry it on. So it's pretty nice for that. All right, so we just powered it on. So it is on. I'm going to use my finger mode and we're going to click it on one more time. Oh, maybe we are. There we go. All right, now, if you happen to be watching this later and you already have a Surger Pro at home, so I'm saying later, like in a few weeks, in order to turn on your Bluetooth remote to the Surger Pro, you have to click this button 5 times after you actually turn on the Surger Pro. So before you actually turn on the vibration. So if you have trouble in getting the Bluetooth to connect, you're gonna push the power on button. So the lights come on and show you that it's powered. You're gonna push the finger button 5 times, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's gonna show that it's on. And then you're gonna click it on again in order to actually turn on the intensity. So level 1 is 1500 RPM. Level 2 is 2160 RPM. Level 3 is 2700. Level 4 is 3180. And level 5 is super intense at 4,860 RPM. It's like super, it's like hot potato. It's like really ticklish, right? So for me, I'm gonna start out with the 1500. Now, if you have plantar fasciitis, I'm gonna show you the trick right now and how you can feel younger and feeling pain relief on your feet as you get older on your next birthday, all right? So we're gonna start right here, and all I'm gonna do is make windshield wipers with my feet, okay? And what am I doing here? I am rotating my feet on a cross section in one little area, okay? And we're gonna tap it up, okay? Now I'm gonna roll forward about an inch, okay? And again, I'm gonna create little windshield wipers with my feet, side to side, okay? So that I'm working out all of those muscles in my lower legs. We're gonna roll forward another inch and windshield wipers. So we're gonna do that back and forth all the way through. And so we're breaking up the tension across the section of connective tissue and muscles, okay? And then I'm gonna show you how to roll longitudinally with the muscles, all right? But for now, we're gonna start with this. Now, if you don't feel any energy, let's give it another click, okay? And again, what we don't want to do, super important here, is we don't want to roll through the knee joint. I teach not to roll through the knee joint because it's a pressure point, and there's a lot of stuff that travels through the back of the knee. But what you can do is you can turn the vibration on, and you can just sit here with the Surger Pro in the crease of your knee, and it will soften where all of those tendons cross over from your calves into your hamstrings, and from your hamstrings down into your calves. But we don't want to roll through the backside of the knee because there's a lot of vulnerable pressure points there, and it's very, very uncomfortable. So you can just kind of hang out here and allow the vibration to soften the tension on those tendons where they cross over. Okay, so if you find that you're not getting enough stimulation with with one leg on here. You can cross over a leg. Now, again, because I have fibro, I can't handle this much intensity. I can't handle this amount of pressure. Even if I were to drop the speed down to 1500, which I just did, this right here is still really painful on the back of my leg, because from my waist down, after suffering from these spinal injuries, my lower extremity can't handle nearly as much pressure and intensity as my upper body. Now my shoulder, totally different story. So you can use one foot to roll yourself forward, okay? You can do it that way. And in doing this, I'm actually softening how much I put pressure on the leg that's there. And I'm just rolling 1 inch per second. 1 inch per second is as fast as you want to go, and you can roll even slower than that. But those of you who are rolling back and forth like this, you're not really giving your body the chance to receive that stimulus. So we want to make sure we're going a little slower. You can put your foot down and rock and roll. I'm using my tushy, okay? Using my tushy to rock back and forth. So let me show you what that would look like from a side angle, okay? So I'm here sitting down and I'm just rocking and rolling on my tushy, okay? So I don't have to actually pick up my body. Those of you that don't have a rump to roll back and forth on, you can put your foot down and you can lift and actually use your foot to roll your body forward and backward, okay? So rolling forward and backward, or better yet, if you need to put your foot down, then you can lightly lift your tushy and you can roll through. But again, we're just rolling 1 inch per second. And let's say I get here, so I'm at the base of my large calf muscle, which is referred to as the gastrocnemius. I can point and flex, and now I'm actually creating a more intense massage while I'm absorbing that vibration energy. And so very similar to the windshield wiper, side to side, but the difference is I'm going up and down across the Achilles tendon and through the gastroc and the soleus complex. And so we go up a little bit more and we can push like we're on a gas pedal back and forth, okay? And you could draw circles. I like to draw circles a lot. All right, so there's a lot of different ways that we can do this, but I want to make sure that we are getting into some really important areas. So drawing big circles while we stay right here. We go up a little bit higher, drawing circles. Okay, so you remember how I told you the secret to feeling younger is finding fun time and finding play time. So how many of you would actually sit here and draw your alphabet with your piggies, okay? So I'm drawing a backward B, and now we got a C, and there's a D. So see, you can find a way to bring in your kids' side adventure while you are rolling for the calves in order to take the tension off the bottom of the foot, all right? So you don't have to be all serious, but you don't want to roll any more than 1 inch per second, okay? And then once you get working up and down that muscle area, then we are just pumping back and forth. And then once you are able to break that up, then we go a little bit faster without the pumping. So truly getting like 1 inch per second here as opposed to, 1 inch per 3 seconds per se. Okay, so from here, we also have to make sure this muscle back here, the tibialis posterior, if you have shin splints, if you are a runner and you feel pain here on your shin, then majority of the time, the tibialis posterior muscle is really tight, or it's a combination of tight and weak, okay? So if we turn our body to the inside, okay, so I can just lay here on the inside and I can roll with my hip forward to backward. Now I'm getting that tibialis posterior muscle. And when you get the tibialis posterior muscle, you're softening the tension here in the arch of the foot and giving the body area to absorb the energy so that you're not experiencing those shin splints. If you have an acute onset of shin splints where this is really sensitive, that's the time to get the heat pad and the neoprene roller, put the neoprene cover on the roller. And then last but not least is our endurance muscles, which is our soleus and our perineals. So go here to the outside of the foot and we can roll to our entire into our entire booty, and we just roll side to side, forward to backward, just nice and easy at your own pace with however you would like to. All right. Now let me see what some of these questions are. What if you can't get on the floor? Then use the couch. Put it on your couch. Use it on your bed. Whatever you need to do in order to get comfortable. Fortunately, we don't have to worry about carrying a lot of weight. This thing's only 3 pounds and it's only 1 foot long by a 1/2 foot across in diameter. So if you need to take this onto your bed, you can use it on your bed. If you're wanting to use it on your arms, on your forearms, you can put it up on your desk and you can rock and roll this way on your desk so that you're actually rolling out your forearms if you've been typing all day. There's so many different things that you can do. What about turning the roller long ways under the calf? David, you most definitely can do that. There really are no rules as to where or how this is positioned. The most important thing to remember is rolling no faster than 1 inch per second and making sure that you're not rolling through the spine and making sure that you're not rolling through your knee joints. The knee joint is just not a good place to roll because there's so many tendons that cross over there. There's venous supply, there's circulation. So we don't want to roll behind the calf on the backside. So to answer your question, David, is if you put your foam roller like that, and yes, you can roll long ways with the foam roller going long ways. In fact, when I do this on my back for my shoulders, I'm going to show you a little trick. The hard part is staying on it when you're doing this. When I mean you don't want to roll through the spine, you can roll through the thoracic spine. You don't want to ever roll through the neck, and you don't want to roll through the low back. So you don't want to roll like this up and down on your cervical spine or the lumbar spine, because what that does when you're putting pressure, if this is my cervical spine or my lumbar spine, every time we roll, we're transitioning the vertebra front to back, and we don't want to do that because that can potentially create a disc injury. The thoracic spine is different though. You can roll up and down through the thoracic spine and across the thoracic spine. You just can't roll through the cervical or the lumbar spine. It's really not a good idea to do that. Yes. Okay. So yes, you don't want to roll behind the knee because there's too many things that can get aggravated and irritated, a lot of tendons. Each side of the knee. Okay. So here's the other thing that we have to make sure of. You have a nerve, really superficial. If you were to follow your tibia bone, your fibula bone. Your tibia bone is your shin. Your fibula bone starts here on the outside of the ankle, and it comes up and it attaches about right here. Just right here on the outside of your fibular head, you have a nerve that is super close to the skin. And so when you roll over that, you're actually irritating that nerve, which can actually shut your foot down. So we don't want to roll. There's nothing here necessarily to roll that's going to give you any benefit, because if you look at the IT band and the connective tissue there, the tissue there is super, super thick. And what we have to remember about fascial connective tissue is its job is to adjust tension in order to keep our bodies put together. So we never foam roll the IT band unless we're working more up here. But we don't want to roll the IT band down here. It just sends your body into more of a sympathetic nervous state where our body goes into lockdown mode. And then the tension throughout the whole body goes up and our body hurts even more. So I will demonstrate you here in just a second how to roll the spine and how to roll through the shoulders, because a lot of you might be trying to situate yourself so that you can release those knots in your shoulder blades. This is a great way to do that. But there's definitely easier ways to do it than others. And of course, through the arm, where our lats attach here is always a common area of trigger points. So anyhow, yeah, so we don't want to roll anywhere through the knee because the knee is not supposed to be rotating, and we really don't want to mess around with the ligaments there. And so Tammy, the MCL, you definitely don't want to roll through that because it is a ligament. And your ligament's job is to hold your bone to your bone. It connects your bones together. So when you roll through those ligaments, you're creating inflammation over those ligaments, and ligaments don't stretch. So if you sprain your ACL or if you sprain your MCL, you actually stretch it out and then you can't shorten it back up. So ligaments are a lot like bubble gum. Put bubble gum in your mouth and you chew it, and then we take it out and then we pull it out and we pull it apart and then we let go. It does not come back to where it started. So anytime you sprain your ankle and you roll your ankle, some people might say when you sprain your ankle, you end up with permanent damage and that your ankle will always be loose. And that's why, is because the ligaments, when they stretch out, they don't shorten back up. The only thing that shortens back up is all the muscles that hold everything together. And when you tighten up and strengthen the muscles surrounding those joints where the ligaments are damaged, it kind of takes over that job. And in many cases, if you have an injury in which you have stretched out ligaments or sprained ligaments beyond a second degree, and you even have partial tears, a lot of doctors will go in and actually suture them down to tighten them back down so that your joint is stable again. So we don't ever want to roll through a ligament, because a ligament's job is to hold us together. And when we try to smash it and stretch it out, that's not part of our body that we want to stretch. Our knee is supposed to be a stable joint. If you have knee pain, more often than not, it is a problem up here in our booty, in our hip flexors, or down in the calves. So work above and below the knee, but not through the knee. Okay, so let me show you how we are going to roll our booty for sciatica, because that's the reason why I kind of got started with the foam roller to begin with, was because of sciatica. And so you're going to see, here is the heat element. So if you decide you love the sleeve, but you don't want the heat element, you can actually remove the heat element out of the sleeve so that you're not having to roll back and forth across this USB port. But again, and it slides right back in there, nice and easy. But again, it only takes 30 seconds to heat up to like 122 degrees. So that's like really nice, and it's so therapeutic. But like if I don't want to use the heat feature, but I still want to use this, then you can remove the heat element out of there. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take that out of there so I can put the sleeve back on, because I like the sleeve. And I'm seeing all your questions popping up here. I promise you, I'm going to get through as many of these demos as possible. But guys, I could probably talk. Maybe that needs to be another live going forward, is how to foam roller. We get our foam rollers out together and we just foam roller together in a class. So if that is something that you would like to see in the future, when you hear birthday, make sure and put Amber foam rolling class. So that we can keep track of how many of you are wanting to experience a group class together. We can totally do a live class on foam rolling, and I could easily teach foam rolling for 2 hours, between the different joints, because there's so many different ways to apply it, but there's definitely right ways to do it and wrong ways to do it. So we just don't want to create more problems than we're trying to solve, especially near the neck and near the lumbar spine. Okay, so because I've been talking for a while, my Surger Pro just kicked off. And so now we've got it back on, and now it's on. Okay, and so what I'm going to show you is how to take care of sciatica. Now, your sciatic nerve actually comes right through here in our deep booty. And what I want to make sure you remember is, if you have been diagnosed with a form of sciatica, or if you have pain, deep burning sensation in your deep booty that goes all the way down into your thigh, okay, but it doesn't go down here into behind your knee or down your leg or into your foot, that is a totally different diagnosis. True sciatica is you have damaged your sciatic nerve, which branches off of the L5-S1 root. And the sciatic nerve is like the largest nerve in the entire body. It has like the diameter of a pencil, so it's huge. But in order to truly damage your sciatic nerve, you have to have compression at the nerve root most often, which is usually a spinal injury. And now guys, if I went through 8 spinal injuries and I did not damage my sciatic nerve in that process, I'm telling you, it takes a tremendous amount of force in order to cause permanent damage to your sciatic nerve, but you can have what feels like sciatica, which is a bumblebee zing going down into your thigh. And that happens because your piriformis muscle, which is an itty bitty muscle about the size of my index finger, and it crosses back here across on a diagonal, and it's one of your rotational hip muscles. When that muscle gets really tight, especially from sitting for a long period of time, it actually compresses on the sciatic nerve, which creates an impingement on the nerve, which then creates that sharp sensation down into your thigh. Is it nerve damage? No, it's just a tight muscle. And so that's why the Surger Pro helps with that. Now, if you have what is called spinal stenosis is the narrowing of the spinal canal, and that itself can compress the sciatic nerve. That's actually a sciatic nerve injury. And majority of individuals who have true sciatica and have impingement at the spinal canal root level normally have to have a spinal procedure in order to take the pressure off the sciatic nerve at its deepest root. So if you don't have that, and you've not been diagnosed with sciatica or a spondy of some sort of spondy is a shift in the lumbar spine where the spine shifts forward and compresses on the nerve, you can deal with a spondy too. Some of those have to be surgically fixed and some of them don't. Most of them don't. I have treated a lot of spondies with great success using the foam rollers and the Lifepro platforms. Okay, so deep in the booty. We're gonna do a booty rollout here. And so what I want you to think about is we're gonna actually sit on the foam roller, okay? Now, if the foam roller takes up one full butt cheek, if you've got two butt cheeks that you just can't get all of the foam roller, I know this is gonna be a comical conversation, then the idea is to get one of your butt cheeks on there, okay? And so the way that I teach this is if we are sitting on the foam roller with most of our butt cheek on the foam roller, not both butt cheeks, but like to the butt crack. If you take that leg out and you lengthen it out and you rotate, okay? I like to wave at everybody while I'm rocking and rolling, okay? But if you take one hand off the ground and you roll over so that your booty is deep in contact with that vibration, then you're getting into your external hip rotators and you're getting into the big fan of the glute muscles. So we've got three different glute muscles, your glute med, your glute min, and your glute max. And all of those muscles are hip stabilizers, with the exception of the max, and the max is a primary mover. So as we're rolling, if I bring my foot in closer to me, then you're gonna get a deeper exposure to the foam roller and the sciatic branch, okay? So I'm just rolling through this really smooth. And for people who truly have sciatic pain and they feel that burning sensation, this is like heavenly for those individuals, and making them feel younger on their birthday. So we're rolling here. And as you can see, I have rolled over to my side a little bit more. Now, what's really important here, I'm not actually rolling into my IT band. My IT band, the root of or the deeper part of my IT band is a little bit further down. So I'm actually rolling into what's called the TFL, the tensor fascia lata. And the TFL is what the IT band starts as. So the IT band is not an actual muscle. It is a very thick piece of connective tissue, of fascia. And the IT band, we do know that it takes 1,500 pounds of force or greater to pull it apart and to actually make change to the length. So you can't actually stretch the IT band. But what you can do is you can roll out the red, thick, fibrous muscles in your gluteus maximus and your tensor fascia lata, which then takes pressure off the IT band. Because the job of the IT band is to connect it all together. So I'm just rolling really slow. Okay, now the other thing that you can do from a comfort standpoint is we sit on top and we rock and roll that thigh across. So I can have one leg out straight or I can keep it closer to me, however you feel most comfortable. But I'm just rolling my leg into out, okay? And in doing that, I'm gonna roll a little bit further and I'm gonna open and close my leg with some rotation. And I'm gonna roll back a little bit more. And so you're gonna feel this into some different spots where it's going to feel really good. Some of them might be a little too sensitive, okay? Now I'm still on level 1, so I'm not even up there yet. Okay, let's go to level, there we go. Actually, I'm on level 4 at the moment. So there I was thinking I was in level 2 and I was in level 3. And so right now I'm into my sacrum. So when you get to your sacrum, you have to be real careful because you're getting really close to the lumbar spine, and we don't want to roll through the lumbar spine. So the sacrum, a lot of people refer to the sacrum who don't know what the sacrum is as their tailbone, and the tailbone actually tucks under. It's like at the level of your butthole, but we don't we don't want to go there, right? So if I'm facing all of you, okay, so I'm going to do this on my other leg, on my other hip, okay? So half of my butt on it, the other half of my butt is free, or if I want to cross all the way across and try and get as much of both cheeks on there, that's fine. But I'm just rocking and rolling. If I bring my other knee in closer, I'm going to feel a lot more intensity, deep into my butt cheeks, where the sciatic nerve runs through the piriformis, okay? So just very lightly rubbing back and forth. Okay, from here, take that leg out straight, and then I just rock it inside to outside like a windshield wiper with my foot. So imagine your foot being a windshield wiper. And as you are doing this, we're changing the rotation in our hip muscles, which is giving the vibration more intensity all the way through the muscle and all the way through the hip joint. So this actually feels really good. And then if I need to feel it more deep into the tissue where the sciatic nerve runs or closer to the IT band, then I roll to the side and I get more to the outside. So again, everybody's a little different as to how we are aligned, but oh, that feels so good. So good on my birthday. Yep, yep, this feels good. Okay, I don't want to take a break because this feels so good, but I got to see what some of these comments say. Okay, yes, so we are officially launching this on Friday at noon, but they will have it live for the next 3 hours until 9 p.m. So for those of you who would like to order this now, you can order it now until 9 p.m. tonight, and then it's cut off until Friday. Then you got to wait. And I don't know about all you guys, but our service and our shipping is like lightning speed, so you're going to get it quick. $95.99 right now until 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that gives you 2 hours, okay? All right, now, showed you how to, and now, oh, and by the way, my butt is itching like crazy. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong. I have released toxins in my butt tissue, okay? So we have a lot of connective tissue in here. And when we foam roll with vibration, we are able to release toxins that are stored in our connective tissue, in our fascia. And when we do that, our body recognizes that as a foreign molecule, and so it activates the histamine response, which causes itching. So if you're itching when you're vibrating, keep vibrating because it means you're getting all the crap out. You're eliminating the junk in the trunk, okay? All right, now, so many of you want to know how to do this with the shoulder, okay? So I'm going to get into that right now. The shoulder can be a tricky one, especially with this size of foam roller up near the spine and trying to get positioned into it just right. So what I want to show you first is if you're really tight right through here in the lats, I'm going to show you how to work that out, because if you're really tight here, excuse me, you're going to be ultra tight in the shoulder as a whole, okay? So let's start with laying on the side. So we're going to turn this on. So I got it turned on. I'm going to use my Ring remote in order to activate. So activation on. Whoops, no, it kicked itself off. Okay, so we are off. Now we're on, and now we're on again. Okay, so everything's working. So I'm going to lay down here on my side, okay? And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my arm and stretch it out. And from here, I'm going to lift and rock and roll back and forth. And oh, jollies, I'm already feeling it. Okay, so this is a very subtle movement. And again, I'm just using my whole body as a unit. Whoo, I haven't even been weightlifting lately. Like, I don't know the last time I did lat pull downs, but I did demonstrate some push-up positions today, so that go figure. Okay, so what we can do is we have that arm stretched out, and the foam roller is inside of my armpit. So now I'm going to open. Whoo-wee! Yes! Yowzers! My lat is on fire, okay? So we are going to reach over and across. And again, I'm going to activate that. Oh, okay, I'm going to hang out right here for a second because this feels so good. Okay, coming back across. Reaching over. Looking. Okay, now, all I want you to do is change one thing. Change your hand position. So go from palm down. We're going to go palm up. And then we're going to open up because we just changed the spiral rotation from the arm all the way through the shoulder joint into the armpit. And so it changes the alignment of which muscles are lining up with everything else. All right. So just opening and closing. And at the same time, guess what? I'm also working my pec minor on my opposite shoulder. So I see a lot of people with neck and shoulder pain. And a lot of people, it's this pec minor muscle here that has pulled them forward. So if I'm laying here vibrating on one side, reaching forward, opening up, then I'm stretching my pec minor on the opposite side. Oh, and guess what? While I'm at it, I'm opening up my diaphragm and I'm opening up my abdominal wall, okay? So now, so many of you have asked about hip flexors. Take your top leg back and let's open up this way. Now we just opened up our hip flexor at the same time while we're vibrating on the lat. And I'm not even vibrating my hip flexor, but I'm still activating and opening up that mobility circuit without holding. So when you hold a muscle on a stretch, it actually neurologically can shut it down for up to an hour because we do that for cooling down. So if I'm just laying here and opening up, I'm actually opening up that psoas muscle here, and I'm opening up all the other hip flexors. So we're getting a total body experience by just resting our armpit on the roller. So it's an amazing, amazing way to combine everything. All right, now let me show you. So we can work through the lat, okay? I will tell you it is a very uncomfortable spot for most to actually foam roll the lat. You can do open and close while you're here in position. Instead of actually opening and close this way, you can open and close your arms stretched out, okay? Now, let's actually talk about the shoulder. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to turn the foam roller long ways, all right? Turning the foam roller long ways. I'm going to try and come a little closer to all of you so you can see what's happening here. All right, so foam roller goes long, okay? This is the hard part, okay? I'm actually going to lay with my back centered with the foam roller, and you actually have to use some core here to hold yourself up, but just right here, I'm just vibrating, and from here, I'm just acting like a cradle, rolling side to side, okay? This is not an easy task, so just be careful. Make sure that you use a lower level setting since it's really close to your head and you're gonna feel it. Oh, but my goodness, it feels so good. Whew, already feeling younger on the birthday. All right, the other way we can do this, I'm gonna get into a couple of different things here, is we can lay it crossways. When we go crossways, okay, let your head fall back and relax, and we're just gonna reach up to the ceiling and open up. So just doing this right here, we're changing which muscles are getting that vibrational energy, that mechanical vibration, which is creating transduction and heat. And then if I roll through, okay, so if you need to hold on to your neck so that you're not straining yourself, now we have just exposed all of our traps. So we've got our upper trap, our mid trap, our low trap, our latissimus dorsi is there, our rhomboids are here. There's a lot going on here, okay? And I'm just rocking and rolling. I'm not gonna rock any lower. So here's my low back. I'm not gonna rock any lower through my lumbar spine. If you want to lay and just feel the foam roller into your lumbar spine and not roll through it, that's fine. But don't roll through the lumbar spine because we don't want one just to go boop, and then we've got major pain, okay? Then they're done now, we don't wanna do that, okay? So we're gonna, again, this takes some, this is a really hard position for some individuals to get into. So just have some patience if you are struggling. You can actually put this in a chair and you can knead side to side inside, with it in a chair. So a lot of different options, but shoulders right here. So we can open and close, okay? We can actually go one whole side of the shoulder. So right here, now I'm getting deltoid rolling through it while I'm just kind of chilling out here, okay? And feeling really good. So we stay right here. We can open and close, and again, working on opening up this pec minor and opening up our thoracic spine, our T-spine mobility, and we can continue to roll. So we're getting some of those intercostal rib muscles. A lot of different ways that you can do it. I could seriously teach foam rolling with the shoulders and all other areas for a long time. Okay, let's talk about the quads, because a lot of you have issues with your hip flexors, but what I wanna make sure that you know is what is the definition of a hip flexor, okay? Most of you think your hip flexor is right here, and that's not, yes, they are there, but the hip flexor is not necessarily a thigh muscle. It's actually, we've got our most powerful hip flexors right here in our deep abdominal wall, as well as in our pelvic floor. So if you are needing to loosen up the thighs because your knee hurts, so a lot of knee pain comes from tight legs on the front, so the quadriceps are tight. This is actually one of my favorite exercises to do, and I am ultra sensitive with my thighs. So, and again, we've got this really thick diamond pattern on here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the foam roller just right above my knee, okay? And I'm gonna lay flat on my bottom, on my belly, okay? And I'm just going to pick my knee up, or pick my foot up, and I'm just gonna bend. I'm just gonna bend my leg, because right here, I'm working on vibrational energy right above the knee, which is where the quadriceps tendon attaches. And so this is always a really sensitive spot. And now we go windshield wipers inside to outside. So we're getting it on a cross section, right? Now I'm gonna move my body down so that the foam roller falls right like mid-thigh, okay? Now, this doesn't always feel so hot, but it's good for you. So we're just gonna bend our leg back and forth. You can totally lay out and relax here. Windshield wipers inside to outside, okay? And because I'm like right there on the edge, there we go. Inside to outside, okay? And then from here, we're gonna roll up even higher. So you can rock and roll. I like to rock and roll, okay? We can bend, rock and roll. So many different strategies here, but the rolling out the thigh on the front helps a lot of times with back pain and helps a lot of times with knee pain, okay? There we go. Oh, that's so good. And we call it the quadriceps because we have 4 muscles there. So we have to make sure that we're getting our inner thigh. So here we are, inner thigh, right? So inner thigh, we lay foam roller there on the inside, and we use our butt back and forth in order to roll through the inside, okay? We can also bring the foam roller up a little bit further in front of us, and we can roll, bringing our leg to and from. But again, when I bring it up high and I'm feeling that vibration running the whole length of my inner thigh, I'm not putting any pressure on the actual knee joint. So you're not gonna feel pressure on the actual knee joint, okay? We can go long. We just don't wanna go through the actual knee joint, okay? So rolling deep into the thigh. Oh, jollies. Yep, and when I stand up, I'm going to feel so much younger on my birthday. It's like the birthday week, so I'm celebrating all week long. Okay, now, it automatically kicks off after 10 minutes. So we're here, rocking and rolling, a little bit more down, and that's to where the knee bends, okay? Now, the other area that we really want to make sure we're getting is here along the outside of our thigh, because that's where the IT band situates. So I'm going to demonstrate that I'll face you this way, and I'll show you this here on the outside. All right, so we're here, okay? I'm gonna rotate my body to you, and for here, this is usually a very, very sensitive area. So again, rocking and rolling, 1 inch per second, picking that knee up. We can rock across, side to side, okay? We can go a little higher, bending that leg, getting more. Oh, there's the hot spot. Whew. Them some big, big knots. Anyhow, this, like I said, we could go on and on and on, but unfortunately, we don't have all night. So, yes, Debbie Payne, enjoying another day the Lord has given me on my next birthday. Amen to that, my friend. Amen to that. You're going to feel younger, making all those fun sounds on this roller on my birthday. I so love you, Suzanne, and that is so true. I love letting that inner synergy out. So when you are on your foam roller and it feels really good, but it's a hurt so good, and you're like, oh my gosh, like you're like, urgh. Like you got to do what we call ha breathing. And so we breathe in, we just let it all out, right? Let out all that tension, okay? And so that's, letting all that tension out is going to take away a lot of pain. So again, this is the Surger Pro foam roller, and 5 different speeds, heats up with a heat element in 20 to 30 seconds to 122 degrees for up to 10 minutes. It has a 3-hour charge time for full charge, and you can get 2 to 4 hours of full working time. So I could charge this bad boy up on a Monday and not have to recharge it again until Friday. Yes, Suzanne, I know what you're thinking. I'm laughing out loud with you. Oh my gosh, you guys are cracking me up. Okay, so next week, we are going to have to create a contest based on who gives the funniest comment with emojis. The funniest comment to whatever it is I have to say, whether it's moaning and groaning in a good kind of way on my foam roller, or what vibrational energy does to you. I want to know what your silly statements are, because I'm going to laugh, laugh, laugh. And remember, the secret to staying young on your next birthday is having laughter and having fun and being more like a kid. So that being said, remember to laugh, because I love it, you guys. Mike, you're awesome. When we laugh, it actually relaxes our masseter and our jaw muscles, and it relaxes our neck muscles. And so if we are in a state of high levels of pain, we have to laugh, because if we don't laugh, our body cannot decompress, okay? So now you have the Surger Pro, and we can laugh and joke about what we're gonna sound like, the funny noises we're gonna make on it, and we're gonna be rolling through our butt cracks, and we're gonna be rolling through our calves, and we're gonna be like, ha, 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 when it hurts, right? No, the vibrational energy from the Surger Pro actually makes everything feel better. So even if you are having a lot of discomfort when you are rocking and rolling, whether it's a booty rock or whether it's a spinal rock, the vibration helps to soften the pain associated with that connective tissue. And the connective tissue, the fascia, which is made up of a lot of collagen and a lot of proteins, and that connective tissue carries emotion and it carries pain. So you might not have anything wrong with you whatsoever, definition of fibro, right? So you might not have anything wrong with you, but your brain is miscommunicating with the sensory of your connective tissue and the nervous system. And so if you can create vibrational energy through what we call transduction, which is creating heat through vibration as it transfers through the skin and through those connective tissues, then it actually releases that discomfort while you're rocking through all those knots and that tension in that connective tissue. So make sure that we laugh, relax the neck, relax the jaw, which relaxes the shoulders. If we can relax the shoulders, then our low back and our hips feel more mobile, because when this shoulder doesn't move, this hip doesn't move right, it's working on a diagonal. So the whole body is interconnected. And so when you use the Surger Pro with the vibration, you're unlocking like the 12 fascial chains, and every single cell in your body, every single nerve, muscle, the bones, anything and everything, your fat, your muscle, everything is connected and held to in this beautiful structure called fascia. And if you don't make that fascial connective tissue happy, it governs your entire body. And so you heard me talking about hormones at the very beginning. It has the power to shut and change hormone production. I learned that in 2005 after suffering from 8 spinal injuries and a head injury included. And when my brain quit producing hormones, I actually went through menopause at 27. So who wants to go through menopause at 27? But when you are able to figure out why you're gaining weight and why your hormones are not working efficiently, there's a way that you can hack the body in order to get that hormone stimulation to regenerate. And so for me, I've had to do that several times. And that is my secret to losing weight alongside with the whole body vibration platforms and the BFR stuff. So I am going to tune in to my girls and find out who is the winner tonight. So ladies backstage, if you can send me a text message with our 2 winners for tonight. 2 of you are going to be feeling younger on your next birthday. And those of you who have a whole year to go around, you're probably going to feel younger way earlier than your next birthday. Yes, so on Friday, you will see the Surger Pro for sale on Amazon and on the Lifepro page. If for some reason you're watching this way after the launch of the next 2 weeks with the 20% off and you need a discount code, you can use the Amber 10 code. But if it's already 20% off and Joel is being quite generous, you might not necessarily be able to stack that code. But just if it's further down the road and you need that code, feel free to give it a try if you'd like to. Okay. Oh my goodness, Beth, happy 50th birthday. Yay, happy birthday to you. And for all of you, yes, Michelle, we laugh, love, and live for sure. And oh, yes, Latrice, yes, I love being a Taurus. I love being a bull. Nobody messes with the bull. Anyhow, yes, we have to enjoy life and we have to laugh and we have to have fun. And so that's why when you do some of my whole body vibration classes, you see that I'm having fun and doing really goofy things like hula hoop circles, like with my belly, okay? And I'm working in thigh squeezes. Oh my gosh, okay, so Michelle turned 51 on Monday, and Tammy is gonna be 50 this year. I am surrounded by incredible aging young people on their birthdays. So I am super, super excited for that. Yes, it's an awesome, oh, fantastic. Our ladies have just mentioned our winners. So Tammy Taylor and Clara Aponte, you are the winners of the Surger Pro. And I want to say thank you to you 2 ladies, because Tammy and Clara are on so many of our virtual launches. And so many of you ladies are always attending my fitness classes when they're out there. And you have been so involved with Lifepro as soon as you've gotten involved. Beth, I see you're here. Beth, you're always posting and trying to help out people. So I'm going to tell you another secret of staying young on your next birthday. Yes, Tammy Taylor, you just won. You won today. So now you can't say I never win anything, because you just won. So yes, you are the winner. So make sure, Tammy, that you connect with support. Let our people know either through Messenger, or you can email at support@lifeprofitness.com. Let them know that you are the winner of the Surger Pro for the Amber birthday launch. And we'll make sure with your address provided to get you your Surger Pro. And if for some reason you can't get a hold of somebody, ladies, contact me and I will forward them your information so you can get it taken care of. But go with the email first. Anyhow, what I tell people all the time is, if you can try and find a way to look at life through gratitude. So this is something that I know a lot of you have commented that you really enjoy hearing at the end of a lot of my videos, the positive energy. And for me, I always got older the more that I looked at other people and judged my life compared to other people. And I did that when I was learning to walk again. I was miserable. I was angry. I really didn't want my life. I wanted somebody else's life. And it was so hard to look forward when I was going through such a horrific time. And I was only married for 9 months to my husband at the time. My husband and I are still together. We've been together like 26 years. And again, I'm only 43, so I've been with him over half of my life. So it's really, he is my rock. He gets me through everything. But if you don't have that person for a rock, if you're going through some adversity in your life, no matter whether it's an injury or whether it's depression or whether it is, you've lost your job, you've lost your home, like COVID has done some crazy things to our family and our friends. I am actually having a birthday gathering this Friday with 20 of my very close friends. And I actually planned my own birthday party. It's kind of weird, but I kind of feel excited all in the same time. I haven't seen any of my friends. Like my best friend is 50, I think she's 56 this year. I'm always making fun of her, like laughing with her a year in advance, and I'm actually behind for a year. But she is like, she's 10 years older than I am. And I have not actually physically seen her in over a year. I haven't hugged her in over a year. But I've had over 150 new clients that I've worked on with my hands. And so I get to see all these people on Friday for the first time in a year. And I'm so excited about it because I miss that human interaction with my closest friends. But because of rules and because of life and just things in general, we've been separated, and they live like within 5 minutes away from me, and I still have not physically seen them in like a year. So this is this coming Friday. But one thing that always has gotten me by, and the one secret that I share with you, especially from a weight loss standpoint, if you are struggling with weight loss and you're doing everything right, stop worrying about the weight and stop worrying about the scale, and just think about what is right in front of you from a gratitude standpoint. So for me, after learning how to walk again, from 8 spinal injuries and a head injury, even if I'm not weighing where I want to weigh, I still have the ability to walk and I still have the ability to move. And so I have to remember, I have already been through one of the worst days of my life. I've already lived the worst day of my life. And the fact that I can actually live a day better than the worst day of my life is always going to be better than not weighing less than I want to weigh. And so as I continue to move forward one day at a time, I remember to myself that I have to celebrate what I have and not worry about what I don't have. So if I don't have 152 pounds on the scale, if I don't have my butt in a pair of size 8 or size 10 jeans, or yoga pants, if I'm in a size large yoga pant instead of a medium yoga pant, I still have the ability to move and to think with a clear mind and to be able to see and to be able to hear and to be able to hug and feel. And those, my friends, are far more important than not losing 20 pounds on the scale. When you start looking at life as to what is right in front of you, and you think about the natural miracles that are taking place all around you, and you think about what you're doing to help others, the weight just comes off. That's how it happened for me. I was trying, but I wasn't trying. But just standing on the platform was lowering my stress hormones and serving myself to Lifepro customers through virtual service and through working on the humans that come into my home for pain relief. I was able to serve and share with them, the greatness that they're able to experience. And that in itself lowers your stress hormones and puts you into a state of parasympathetic, the yin of our world. And so many people are missing that side of their life. They're missing out on the yin. They're missing out of the positivity, and they're allowing the negative energy to suck them under, to drown them in stress hormones. And so if your stress hormones, your cortisol and your adrenaline are really high, it is impossible to lose fat. It's not going to happen. So you have to figure out a way to reverse that situation. And you cannot take a pill to reverse cortisol levels. I've tried. I've been there. I've done it. It doesn't work. What does work, though, is vibration therapy. What does work is mobility training, keeping the heart rate at a lower level, because too much cardio actually revs your cortisol levels back up. So David Boyd, I have to laugh. David just said, you just have to change the label size in your yoga pants to a medium. True that. I love it. So what I want you to remember is just celebrate what is right in front of you, what is right around you. Like, I've got a 10-year-old daughter, and I love being able to look at the world through her eyes, because I don't remember what I thought about when I was 10. I don't remember the questions that I wondered about when I was 10. And I don't remember the stress of being 10, of being in 4th grade, other than dealing with friends who are bullying you or picking on you or making fun of you because they're comparing you. So think about what you have. Think about the fact that you can just feel and do everything through your sensory. And I'm telling you, the hormones will regulate at some point. And if they don't, you need to see an integrated health practitioner, a functional medicine practitioner. A lot of them are nurse practitioners. Get your sex hormones tested. Get your testosterone, your estrogen, your progesterone, your thyroid, your cortisol. Get all of that stuff tested and figure out where you're at, because those are the messengers that communicate with your brain as to how your body is supposed to regulate itself. So you can work on the calories, you can eat the right diet, you can exercise a lot. If you don't know where your hormone levels are, those chemical messengers, you're not going to be able to lose no matter how hard you try. And if you're in a slump, I had a total hysterectomy 2 years ago, and my hormones were nuts, like out of whack. And that's how I discovered Lifepro. For every adversity, there is some positive that comes out of it if you're willing to see it. Had I not gone through the adversity and the hell of having a total hysterectomy and gaining the weight up to 200 pounds, I never would have discovered all of you. I never would have found Lifepro, because I didn't need Lifepro until my body quit working and I had tried everything else. And then when I discovered Lifepro and discovered Joel, discovered the Surger, that's when my life completely flipped. And so with every bad scenario, there's always a gift and something positive that comes out of that. And so depending on where you're at in your life, if you're not losing weight and you're trying everything you can, you just have to figure out there's something bigger going on, and you have to be willing to recognize it, because it's going to give you the opportunity to serve others and to experience the gratitude of being able to help others. And when you start serving and you start sharing and you start feeling with others, that's when stress comes out of you, and that's when your body gives up fat for energy. When your body is able to fix itself and you no longer have those stress hormones going crazy, and you no longer are in a state of reactive, your fight or flight is now controllable, your body will give up fat for energy, because it's not trying to survive anymore. It's trying to thrive through recovery and through relaxation and digestion. So I don't want to babble on forever. I want you all to have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Congratulations to Clara and to Tammy. Super excited for you, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Next Tuesday, it's our yoga class at 6 p.m. with Rosalind, our other instructor. And then I believe, let me pull this up. I believe it might be next Friday. I've lost track of our launches because life is just in the fast lane all the time. Yeah, I don't even think we have anything scheduled for next week yet, but it's Mother's Day weekend. So, hey, if we need to get on a foam rolling class for all of you moms out there, or all the dads and the gentlemen who are needing to nurture and share some of this energy with all of those mommies out there, hey, let's look forward to seeing what we can come up with here in the next week. If you have ideas of classes that you'd like to learn from us that are able to serve to you, please reach out to Joel and let him know. Send a message through Messenger to Lifepro or to Joel personally. Let him know what you want, because I'm telling you, Joel is more in tune with his customers than any other CEO I've ever met in my life. And we are here as a team to serve you and to thrive with you. Because if you're thriving, we are thriving. And if we're thriving, then everybody thrives together as a unit. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And again, thank you for the birthday wishes for those of you who are getting ready to have a birthday or just had a birthday. Happy birthday to all of you. And God bless you all. Thank you so much.